Chapter 10, Bounding Spirits. This is Ninja Gaiden 4 on Master Ninja difficulty. What is up, everyone? It is me, DevilNeverCry, and once again, this is very much not a walkthrough. You can use it as such. We'll definitely be getting from point A to point B, but as I've previously mentioned, this is basically my first time through Master Ninja mode, just recorded for posterity, and yeah, just showing you my wins, so to speak, as we grit our way through it. Part of me does want to do an S-rank run of this mode, and I'd love to get you guys' thoughts on whether or not you want to see some of that. I think a lot of the fun in these kinds of games, whether it's action or character action, whatever you want to call it, stems from the replayability and pushing to go even further beyond, get some old Super Saiyan quotes in there, but I feel like just because I've played this back-to-back for normal mode and Master Ninja, and then doing even more just to clean up for the 100% completion, I might take a little bit of a break before I decide to do it. Maybe play something else. There's a few other games I need to actually finish up on my backlog, but that's part of why I'm interested in maybe going back to the Master Ninja collection, or even Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, or Brown as people like to call it, just as a bit of a palate cleanse as we dolphin dive headfirst into the waters there, thinking sweet things about Seori as we do. But yeah, so that's definitely on the docket. Just let me know what your thoughts are, and let me know if anybody here has been going for rank runs. Like, this game's difficulty has been a very interesting point of contention. My thoughts, I've spoken at length about it. I feel like this game is really, really easy, even on this difficulty, just because of the sheer amount of items that you have. And I would have loved to have seen the game incentivize going for S ranks on Master Ninja, for example, or S ranks in general, just for like some cool unlocks, or even if it's just for bragging rights through trophies and such, or achievements if you're so inclined. But let's be honest, the Xbox brand is so in the toilet at the moment that achievements are kind of just, who cares? Unless you're talking maybe Steam achievements, at which point some people might care as we eat that iron bar to the face. Yakumo just stupefied as to what's happened there. Something interesting I've been seeing is a bit of a discussion on how Ninja Gaiden 3 is a better game than this, which is utterly baffling. The OG Ninja Gaiden 3 has to be just one of the worst. Like, it's what they did to Ninja Gaiden in that game is just terrible, which is why Razor's Edge was such an overhaul to try and fix whatever that was. I do think it definitely had some interesting parts to it. I mean, Steel on Bone and Ryu's weird berserk state from the old Grip of Murder, and that, I guess, early 2010s aesthetic it has going for it. The grit, but yeah, I don't know, man. I guess you could argue that game, maybe Razor's Edge, follows a little bit more closely to the Ninja Gaiden formula, given that this is definitely got a lot of platinum influences in it as we flying swallow to our doom there. But just as a cohesive package, I still think this is night and day, much, much better. You can definitely argue what they did to Ryu is terrible, but yeah, just interesting to see the conversations that are flowing through. Still no sales figures. I think I'll harp on for the rest of this series about sales figures, because I'm curious to know how well this game is done, and whether or not its success leads to a scaling up of what they're going to provide in the DLC, or maybe it's going to push their plans forward for a new Ninja Gaiden even quicker. Or maybe the game's not done too well and this is the last thing we see of Ninja Gaiden for a long, long time. Another, 12 years? Another 13 years? Fun fact, you can skip this encounter. Behind that spawner is a wall, a wooden wall that you can break and then just push past, but I don't do that for some reason. I'm just quite fixated on just getting through this as smoothly as possible, which includes slapping up the old Van Gelf here, dapping up with our Dark Dragon Blade, or whatever they call it. cue the fanfics, wondering who's got the bigger blade. You know, Ryu with his True Dragon Sword, Yakumo with his Dark Dragon Blade, you know. Who's got the bigger jewels at the end of him? Running off on a tangent there, but beyond this encounter, there's not going to be too many other tricky situations. And the final challenge of this chapter is going to be Cetus, the old boss, the old Demon of Song ripoff. As we get more UTs going. I feel like people who have started with this game are going to have an interesting time going back to some of the older ones, just with some of the differences in gameplay. Oof, we eat that to the face, that's not great. These guys are playing their favorite extraction shooters, maybe they're playing some Night Rain, maybe they're playing who knows what, they're just dropping in basically. which is yeah, don't even spawn in, just drop in from nowhere. And we make good use of the Berserk though, with the true obliterations at least, as we break the old wall behind this enemy. I don't even think there's much here in these chests to go for. We do end up unlocking all of them though, just for good measure. I think there's one more off in the corner that we go for. Good old ninja coin. Such a peculiar name they've chosen for the currency. Why they didn't go for yen? No idea. Considering they are in Tokyo of all places, but I digress. Continuing to play as Yakumo though. Part of me thinks that if they had not included Ryu in this game, what the fans or the fandom or just the Ninja Gaiden community's reaction would have been. I mean, we get complaints about Ryu already, considering how half-baked he is, but would it have been more interesting if they took that additional time to clean up Yakumo even more and give him even more added function, and then save Ryu as a playable character in the so-called Black or Special Edition of Ninja Gaiden 4, taking the old DMC approach there? Who knows? But yeah, once we get to over here, it's just going to be a little bit more traversal as we cock that up. And then we should be straight into the boss. Flying our way over to it. Surprised he's not got any motion sickness or vertigo from all of this. That was weird. We didn't even hit the wall run. We just went straight to the other rail. And this is probably the trickiest part of this achievement, is going through this and then also not hitting any of these pipes. I'm not sure if I'm able to get there in the end. No. I messed that one up, which is quite annoying. And yeah, if that happens, you're pretty much going to have to, I think, restart the entire mission. So just keep that in mind. And then here we have Cetus. So, you know what we're going to do. We're going to pop the old pills, and then we're going to go to work with the Kagehiriko's Blood Raven techniques, Bloodbind techniques, whatever you want to call them. Just make sure you get the just timing on them, and we should be able to stunlock this fella. You can use some of the items that give you more Bloodbind gauge. I would definitely make sure you use the items that speed up the recovery as well, and the accessories too, but he's dove in. Don't worry about the ghost fish for now, just keep going, and then once he's at his second point, his halfway point, sorry, I should say, second health bar, that's when you want to pay attention. Don't do what I did, that was a complete waste. Just continuously keep on hitting him, even in this state, and he should be fine. Damn, we are just popping pills. I don't even know why. Half of this stuff is not even needed. I guess I was just on a bit of a roll. But you can kind of see how this just obliterates him. And to be honest, I feel like this is the damage that these moves should be doing in the first place. There's one thing to critique in how this doesn't feel like previous Ninja Gaiden titles. It has to be just the amount of damage that you do to bosses. It just feels way too low. But yeah, then we're going to take him to Pound Town as we get another POV shot. Directors must love POVs. Take that as you will. But yeah, oh wow, straight in the mouth too. Okay. And with that, as we get to the end of the chapter, It has been me, DevilNeverCry. I'd like to thank all of you for watching, and as always, I'll see you all next video.